Welcome to the Arlington Street Church podcast. Founded in 1729, Arlington Street continues today as a gathering place for progressive people of faith in the greater Boston area and beyond. We are located at the corner of Arlington and Boylston Streets, across from the Public Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.
Home. Home can be a useful metaphor when trying to understand our complicated lives. After all, a home provides shelter for our physical bodies, which in turn are the vessels of our spiritual lives. But does it ever feel like your home is built right on top of the San Andreas Fault, where most of the time everything seems stable enough, but then suddenly there's a giant shift in the tectonic plates and everything shakes and wobbles? Things come flying off the shelves. Pictures go all crooked on the walls. It's disorienting. Well, sometimes life is too. When we experience dramatic shifts in our lives, our natural tendency is to cling to what seems solid, safe, and familiar. Often, our first inclination is to resist the uninvited change. And when we can't, when the forces of change are so far beyond our control, we want to somehow rebuild just what we had before the unwelcome event. But solidity is an illusion. Its ability to comfort lasts only up until that moment when life happens, as it always does. And then suddenly, everything seems different. The illusion of solidity evaporates like so much mist in the morning sun, revealing an unexpected landscape filled with different contours and ways. We find ourselves in an unknown, yet somehow familiar land. When life happens, rather than cling to the past and resist change, rather than seek safety in what once seemed solid, rather than rebuild what we had in the past, we are better served by embracing change. You've heard it said before, it's not a new idea in either the West or the East. The only constant in life is change. So wrote the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus of Ephesus around 500 BC. That was over 2,500 years ago. Paraphrasing Heraclitus, Plato states in one of his dialogues, "All things pass, and nothing stays." Comparing existing things to the flow of a river, Heraclitus says, you cannot step twice into the same river. Sounds familiar, right? Contemporaneous with Heraclitus, the Buddha was teaching on impermanence a continent away in India. Everything that comes also goes. Everything that lives must die. And everything that is created will crumble. Accepting the essential truth of change or impermanence as a guiding principle in our lives may seem ungrounding at first. For some, it may even call to mind and run counter to Jesus saying in Matthew 7 that it is a foolish person who builds their house on sand rather than on solid rock. While we can all agree that in principle it makes little sense to build a house on shifting ground, we actually do it all the time. Hello, Back Bay. hello, Provincetown. So let's put the house foundation metaphor up on the shelf for a moment. Let's take a look at impermanence through a different lens. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh teaches, there is no birth, there is no death. But common sense and experience, well, they really don't seem to fall into line with this claim. There is no birth, no death. After all, who of us hasn't experienced joy at the birth of a new baby or grieved the loss of a loved one? And in the hopefully long middle passage between birth and death, we've all experienced the joys of an exciting new relationship or a dream job, only to have those joys later offset by the end of a friendship, a divorce, or a layoff. So what are we to make of Thich Nhat Hanh's claim, there is no birth, no death? It seems like life itself and all that happens during our stay in this physical world are marked by birth and death, beginnings and endings. Time marches on in a linear fashion. But does it? What if we suspend our assumptions about time and experience? Let's place our own experiences up on the shelf with that metaphor of the solid house foundation and explore another possibility. Writing on impermanence, Thich Nhat Hanh explains, it is not impermanence that makes us suffer. What makes us suffer is wanting things to be permanent when they are not. We need to appreciate the value of impermanence. He then gives us some examples. If we are in good health and are aware of impermanence, we will take good care of ourselves. When we know that the person we love is impermanent, we will cherish our beloved all the more. When we practice mindfulness of impermanence, we become fresher and more loving. Doesn't this approach seem more kind and more hopeful than dire warnings of houses built on unstable foundations? In a famous Dharma talk entitled, "A Cloud Never Dies," Thich Nhat Hanh uses a cup of tea to demonstrate the concept of no birth, no death. He says, drinking tea is a meditation. He asks, when you look into the tea, what do you see? I see a cloud, he says. I see a cloud floating in my tea. Yesterday, the tea was a cloud in the sky, but today it has become the tea in my glass. Smiling and laughing, he continues, and when you look up in the blue sky and don't see your cloud anymore, you might say, oh, my cloud has died. In fact, it has not died. It has become the tea in my cup. Looking lovingly up at the tea, he smiles and says, hello, my cloud. I see you. And when I drink my tea, I drink my cloud. He then continues, reminding us that we are all made up of 70% water, or cloud as he prefers. So cloud, he continues, is a good subject of meditation. Using the life cycles of clouds, Thich Nhat Hanh invites us to contemplate the reality of impermanence. Our cloud falls and then becomes rain and snow and ice in a mountain creek. But it never dies. It flows from creek to river and finally to the great ocean, where through the power of the sun, it evaporates and returns back to cloud. Cloud never dies. We are cloud. And Thich Nhat Hanh says, a cloud has a good time traveling. Cloud appears as the tea in our cup, the tear on our face, and ice cream. Yes, let's not forget ice cream, he says. Thich Nhat Hanh tells us the next time we are about to eat our ice cream, to look into it, smile, and see the cloud in our ice cream. He says, this is meditation. This is easy, a very pleasant thing to do. So rather than a linear concept of time and existence, Thich Nhat Hanh proposes a circular or cyclical concept of time and existence where there is no birth, no death, only continual transformation. We too are cloud. Our difficulty, our pain arises out of becoming attached to what brings us joy and avoiding what brings us sorrow. So rather than being present in the moment, we spend our time regretting what and who have passed out of our lives, worrying that we won't get what we want, grasping too tightly once we have it, and then fearing it's somehow going to be taken away from us. The joy of the present can all too easily be lost. I myself like the idea of mindfully drinking tea, or better yet, eating ice cream, as a meditation on our own impermanence, an invitation to fully experience the joy of the present and gently, without judgment, to observe what arises and what passes out of our lives. In her own way, Joni Mitchell taps into this wellspring of equanimity when she sings, well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. In a moment or two, I'll invite us all into a quiet time of meditation and reflection, listening to the deeply contemplative music of Arvo Pärt. But before we go there, I offer the sage words of Mary Oliver, entitled, On Meditating, Sort of. Meditation, so I've heard, is best accomplished if you entertain a certain strict posture. Frankly, I prefer to just lounge under a tree. So why should I think I could ever be successful? Some days I just fall asleep or land in that even better place, half sleep, where the world, spring, summer, autumn, winter, flies through my mind in its hearty ascent and its uncompromising descent. So I just lie there like that, while distance and time reveal their true attitudes. They've never heard of me, and never will, or even need to. Of course, I wake up finally thinking, how wonderful to be who I am, made out of earth and water, my own thoughts, my own fingerprints, all that glorious, temporary stuff. My friends, our homes, like our lives, are built on unstable fault lines, shifting sands, and here at Arlington Street Church, on 99 wooden pilings. And that's okay. Over time, our homes and our lives shift, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly. Solidity is an illusion that evaporates like so much mist in the morning sun. Life happens. The only constant is change. Like cloud that becomes rain and snow and ice and river, then ocean, tears and tea and ice cream. Please don't forget the ice cream. We are all transformed. When we accept that everything is impermanent, we can better cherish the gift of the present, neither regretting the past nor fearing the future, for we are all cloud. So I invite everyone now to settle into a comfortable position. You might want to sit up straight like Thich Nhat Hanh, or lay down in the pew like Mary Oliver would. It's up to you. You can close your eyes, you can leave them open. It's all good. There's no wrong here. Just allow the music to take you where it will. Observe what arises gently, without judgment. Enjoy the present of the present. And always remember, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. And now for our benediction, I invite you to place your hands over your heart in Namaste. I honor the divine in you. Our closing words this morning are from Kalidasa, Salutation to the Dawn. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. Such is the salutation of the dawn. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, you're divine.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.